Welcome, this is Mount Zion in the 12th hour. I'm going to talk about the days of Noah. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. Let us read. For if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into the chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of unrighteous. The 144,000 are going to replace the foreign angels in the earth made new. What we have to note here is that the Yahweh will not recreate the angels in the new earth. So we read about the 144,000 in the book of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 22. But ye are come unto Mount Zion, and unto the city of the living Yahweh, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly of the church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to Yahweh the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. The book of Revelation chapter 14 verse 4 tells us that the 144,000 are first fruits. They are redeemed from among men, which imply that they are not made in heaven, but they are made on earth. That's why their names are written in heaven, because they are to replace the foreign angels that were cast out of heaven. And if you are watching this video, you have that great opportunity to be part of this special group with a special experience of the law of Yahweh, which is the law of Moses, or the song of Moses. Noah was the eighth person from Enoch. He gave the last warning to the old world. And now I'm going to show how the scriptures connect up with the 8 sons of Jesse. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 12. And David was the son of that Ephraimite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. So the antitypical David is going to be the 8th person, the preacher of righteousness, who is going to warn this last generation before its destruction. And in this study, I'm going to tie in also the 7 churches in the book of Revelation chapter 2 and 3, which bring us to number 8, and that's the kingdom, the everlasting kingdom of the house of David, which is to stand forever. In the book of Luke chapter 17 verse 20, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. The days of Noah is a photograph of what we must expect in the time of the end. So we have Noah, the ark, and the flood. And in the time of the end, we are going to have the untypical Noah. Someone must be raised up to give the last warning before the destruction of this last generation. And let's turn to the book of Jeremiah 30 verse 9 and read. But they shall serve the Yahweh their Creator, and David their King, whom I will raise unto them. Also Amos 9:11 gives us the same information. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I'll raise up his ruins as in the days of old. And we also read about the same servant in Malachi chapter 4 verse 5. Behold, I'll send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Yahweh. So before the destruction of this generation, we must have the last prophet on the scene. The untypical Ark of Safety is going to be the kingdom. Daniel 2:44. Let us read there. And in the days of these kings shall the Yahweh of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So the everlasting kingdom is to be set up in the days of these kings. Kings translate into the presidents of the present nations today. So the only people that will hear our message are going to find the kingdom as the only place of safety from the 7 last plagues. And the antitypical flood is the 7 last plagues. We read about in Revelation 15 verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh. Before the flood, the ark was waiting. And today, in the last days, the kingdom has been set up by the untypical David. And it's the Ark of Safety, and it's waiting for all people to come and have shelter from the 7 last plagues. Let us turn to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16, and connect up the missing link. Verse 1, And Yahweh said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from ruling over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil, and go, I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, How will I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And Yahweh said, Take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Yahweh. Verse 6, And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, Surely the Yahweh's anointed is before him. But the Yahweh said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on his height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Yahweh seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Yahweh looketh on the heart. 10. Again Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, The Yahweh has not chosen these. Jesse, expecting that Yahweh would choose a king over Israel from the 7, he presented them before Samuel. But to be surprised, Yahweh rejected all of them. We have the 7 churches in the book of Revelation 2 and 3. And we see that all these 7 churches have Yahweh's condemnation. So Yahweh cannot choose any of the 7 churches to finish his gospel work on the earth today. Let us turn to the book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 14 and get the rest of the story. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, These things says the Hallelujah, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of Yahweh. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou art cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I'll spew thee out of my mouth. So Yahweh is going to spew the 7th church, Laodiceans, out of his mouth, which is proof that he cannot finish his work on earth with a lukewarm church. Let us turn back to the book of 1 Samuel 16, verse 11 to 13. And Samuel said unto Jesse, I hear all thy children. And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal, of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And Yahweh said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. So in the time of the end, we must have the 8th and the youngest. And you know what? David is on the scene today. Let us read Jude 1:14 and 15. The Yahweh cometh with the 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all. Enoch was the 7th before Noah. The Laodicean church is the 7th church, which must be on the scene before the everlasting kingdom of the house of David is set up. And the untypical David has been raised up, who is Denton Branken, to set up this everlasting kingdom of heaven, and to teach the plan of salvation through the blood of the everlasting covenant in the new and living way, and through the heavenly sanctuary. So he is the eighth person, and preach of righteousness. And after his work is done, the Yahweh will execute judgment upon all that will not heed his message to enter into the Ark of Safety. And if you are watching this video, this is an invitation to come and join this everlasting kingdom and have a place of safety to shelter you from the 7 last plagues. Revelation chapter 17:11, let us try to wind up. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. The beast that was represents a new world order. The new world order is going to be formed up, but shortly it will disappear from the scene and it will go into perdition. So this new world order is going to be so strong, everyone on this planet will ask, who is like unto the beast? Who is like unto the new world order? And who can make war with him? Therefore, the everlasting kingdom with the antitypical David is the eighth, and is of the 7 churches, and goeth into eternity. Remember to subscribe. Thank you for watching. As always, David number 2.